5 seconds to go. Start. The earth on which we live is some 4,500 million years old. Around 3,000 million years ago or so, it became possible for self-organizing and reproducing species of matter to develop and spread throughout the planet. Remarkable as the origin of life was the development of forms which, in addition to procreating themselves, could undergo genetic changes to evolve species progressively more able to take advantage of the environment. It appears that until about 20 million years ago, our ancestors were ape-like men who spent a great deal of their lives in the branches of trees in forests. About 15 million years ago, there was a transition from the stage of living on trees to that of dwelling on the ground, and this resulted in the development of the upright standing posture characteristic of men. It took another 10 to 15 million years from the erect ape to Homo sapiens. The most significant part of this development was concerned with the evolution of the human brain, which controls most of the abilities that separate us from other animals. Men developed four highly important abilities, namely tool making and the general intelligent manipulation of objects, speech, and the development which permits an increased ability to cooperate within the family or the tribe, and very important, the ability to reason logically. The last is probably the newest of our attributes and the most crucial one in separating us from the other higher animal in this growth. Clearly, tool making, communication by speech, and social development all evolved out of the need to live and survive in a hostile environment. The development of logical reasoning probably arose out of competition within our own species or with closely related branches of the man-like family, and it was probably thus that this branch of which we are representatives wiped out competing branches such as Neoman. An important question that we have to answer is whether the instinctive patterns of human behavior are fundamentally inimical to human cooperation or an indefinitely broad scale. It is in this process of logical reasoning that science had its roots, and it is our hope that science, which has shrunk the world, which has in it the possibilities of untold prosperity for all mankind, will unite mankind in cooperation in the future. The step in this remarkable process of evolution took place slowly when judged by the standards of time we are used to in everyday life. From the days when the use of fire was discovered, probably due to ancient men who vanished about 50,000 years ago, through the old Stone Age based on food gathering and hunting, when men learned the major ways of handling and shaping materials and became an exceedingly clever took maker, contriving complex arrows, axes, spears, and hooks through the new Stone Age of primitive village agriculture, weaving, and pottery. Man entered the metal ages of copper, bronze, and iron. The Bronze Age added metals, architecture, the wheel and mechanical device, and the concept of the city, astronomy, medicine, and chemistry acquired their first traditions. The Iron Age added glass and improved tools made of a cheap metal, iron, and thus man moved slowly along the path of evolution, adapting himself of the environment and acquiring new traits and skills in the process to survive and develop. Successive landmarks that could be discerned with gaps of millions of years began to occur with gaps at first of a few thousands and then of a few hundreds of years. Around 1400 AD started the speculator march of modern science, which we are witnessing today. There was clearly an intellectual ferment characterized by the understanding the knowledge was to be advanced not by reliance on ancient authorities but by studying nature and by acting on it. The invention of printing greatly helped the process of recording information and communication. We might ask this stage as to what happened elsewhere in the world. All over in the early stage of human development, there were pseudosciences such as games, number, lore, alchemy, geomancy, and so on. Several of them demanded observations and experimentation and gave rise in time to meaningful science. Thus, chemistry in an offspring of alchemy. In all the major civilizations of the world, there have been high points and a flowering of intellectual scientific effort in China, India, Egypt, Greece, Islam, and other countries. But these have been transitory and have, after passing their creative zenith, relapsed into traditional lore, and then over a period of about 500 years from around 1400 AD to the present century, there occurred two major developments of profound significance. There was the scientific revolution, during which science attained intellectual maturity and became an indispensable feature of a new industrial civilization. There was also the industrial revolution, which made the great transformation in the means of production. Full stop.